motivation, but more importantly, executable ideas, because discipline beats motivation every single time. All right, welcome to the Tony Blanko podcast. Today's episode is called See the Vision. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for being here. You could be anywhere on the internet, but you're here right now listening to Tony Blanko. I'm going to share anything that I can that I believe will provide you value, that will help you in your life. Motivation, but more importantly, executable ideas, because discipline beats motivation every single time. And what I mean by that is it feels good to say motivational speaker. It feels good to say, oh, I'm motivated. It feels really bad to say, oh, I don't have the motivation to do something today. But you have a plan and you got to stick to it, because discipline beats motivation every single time. If I wake up and I decide, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym today, then I'm not going to maintain this incredible figure that I have. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with being a little full of yourself when you work hard on yourself. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You're disciplined and you continue to do the right things, then you'll have something to be proud of. Being proud is a good thing, okay? Now, if you have such a huge ego that you're hurting people and not having any regard for human life or emotion or anything, that's where the problem is. But being proud of yourself and your accomplishments, and thus using that as a motivating factor for you to keep moving forward and you to stay disciplined and on your goals, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody tell you that there's something wrong with that. About that, the only people that have crap to say and talking down on people's accomplishments and trying to justify uh, things like, oh, it's just their luck or whatever, these are people that we refer to as haters, right? The haters who have nothing better to do, nothing good going on in their life. And so they want to tear down others instead of applying energy, time, money, investing into themselves to be the best version of themselves. See, when you're on this path of self-betterment, people will be upset. It's sad to say, people will be upset because they see you as this image in their head they already have, and you're breaking that image that they have in their head of you. They're watching you elevate, they're watching you change, watching you grow. And it may upset them because they aren't growing, they aren't elevating. But enough about that. Today's episode is called See the Vision. And what we're going to talk about in this episode is passion, plan, pursue, and perfect. The 4 P's. PPPP. All right? Quadruple P, baby. And what it stands for is to help you craft this vision, go after it, and perfect it along the way. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And now I'm going to break down each P. Okay? First one is passion. Passion is something that you can't buy in a store. Passion is something that you either have for it or you don't. You will never develop a passion for something. You have a burning passion for something, and then you decide to either put out the flame, which would be very sad, or you help the flame grow. You help to cultivate the flame, turn it into a big fire, big bonfire of your successes, okay? It starts with the passion. See, I've always wanted to be in an important position. I've always wanted to be the boss of something, entrepreneurial. A lot of you could connect with what I'm saying. Well, the thing is that although there may be things out there like being in sales, selling insurance, selling cars, these are things that pop into my mind of like being a lawyer, something like that, of, oh yeah, like these are money making positions. These are positions where I'll be putting myself in a position of power, maybe influence, right? But at the end of the day, do I have a passion for that specific thing? And some other online gurus and motivational speakers, they might say otherwise about the passion thing. Oh, go, not motivational speakers. What it is that the people that are more focused on the money, the people that are passionate about the money, they're telling you, screw passion, forget about passion, go after what is going to line your pockets, and then you get to do the passionate thing. That's good and great, I guess, for what they're talking about. But what they're missing out on, or what they're not explaining to you, is that they are passionate about what they're talking about. You could tell in their voice and their dedication, they are passionate about money. And that's fantastic. Me, however, I'm passionate about other things. And I believe that when you are passionate about something truly, truly passionate, and you do it, that the money will come. The money will be there. Consistency, being persistent, these things are things that we need to consider, right? So first and foremost, you need to have passion for something. If you lack passion, it will be very hard to maintain a level of consistency. To be able to get up and do it every single day. Yes, we remain disciplined. But if we don't have that passion, it just won't happen. Okay? Number 2, plan. Plan. Number 1 was passion. Number 2 is plan. I'll show you the actual plan of this podcast right now. I have the name of it. I have a summary that I'm going to speak to you about. Boom, we got that. I did the first point, passion. Now we're on the second point, plan. Okay? And this is simply a rough guideline. It's not a step by step. However in depth you want to go into the planning, awesome. But a guideline will keep us human. A guideline helps me to stay on the right track, however, be able to still think on my feet. That's one of my favorite things to do. I like to improvise, right? These words are coming out of me and I'm following the guideline. I'm not following a script. There's no teleprompter that I'm reading. I'm talking to you human being to human being. Cool? So we plan things. We don't necessarily have to have it step by step. Like I said, in incredibly detail. No, that will come along the way. That's why step 3 is to pursue. You have passion for something. You plan out a guideline of it and you pursue it. You put that plan into effect and you start getting into the motions. Okay, we start moving, start doing what it do. As we pursue, we'll realize along the way what needs to be tweaked, what things aren't necessarily working. And I'll give you an example of this. I heard in a video the other day that instead of saying, oh, I want to be a master at FL Studio or a master at Photoshop, Instead of taking all these courses to learn the ins and outs of the programs, which might help you, but my point is, instead, set up a project and actually do. This podcast is a perfect example of which I've been passionate about the idea of having a podcast for years. And the thing that has held me back, one of the biggest things that has held me back, is the lack of perfection. However, just because something is not perfect doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, that you shouldn't execute it, okay? Because you will never be at a level of mastery and a level of perfection that you wouldn't have achieved had you set up the project and actually did. I'm currently a bartender and I get complimented all the time. I'm not going to sit here and be cocky with you and say I'm one of the best bartenders. But from what people tell me, unless they're filling me up with hot air, people tell me how incredible of a bartender I am. People tell me how good of a bartender I am, that, oh, you're the best bartender. That's their opinion. I'm not going to take that from them, especially since it helps me, right? It makes me feel really good. That's awesome. But the thing is with that is that somebody asked me yesterday, they were like, oh, you learned in a school? You took courses for this? And as I'm making drinks, I kind of laughed and I said, this is my school. Work. Right here, this is my school. Been doing it for 2 years. So you have to find your groove, you know what I mean? But if you hold off the execution part, if you hold off the doing, then you won't have anything to tweak. You won't have anything to try and perfect. You'll be watching other people do forever. And there's a massive difference between watching people do and doing. I don't need to break that down for you. You already know. Okay? So far we have passion, we have plan, we have pursue, and we have perfect. Okay? Remember I said perfection doesn't exist? Well, that's because perfection doesn't exist before you start the pursuing of the actual goal. And back to planning, well, okay, let's connect the planning step. Now that I've broken down kind of all four of them and we're still talking about perfecting, we're on number 4, but we're going to connect the past things just to show you how connected everything is. We're on perfect, right? We're going to go to plan. We're going to have the title of this podcast right now, this episode, See the Vision. When you plan, it would really, really help you to plan backwards. Have a goal in mind, that you want to achieve, somewhere where you want to be, the ultimate, this is where I want to be. And then you think, what are the steps to get here? There's this step, there's this step, there's this step, there's this step. I'm all the way down here. And I have to go up these steps to get myself to the top. But if you don't know what the top looks like, if you can't see it, which will change along the way, how you see it as you get closer to the goal, it will change. But if you can't even see or envision what that end goal looks like, then you will have no direction. You won't know where you are heading to. You'll just be moving and sailing in a boat without knowing where the land is, flying in a plane without knowing where the airport that you have to land in is, right? That's crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you work so hard without knowing what the end goal is, without having a why, without having a purpose? Okay? See, it's beautiful how this is all working out. I thought this was going to be a 40-minute thing, but it looks like my podcast episodes are going to be shorter than expected because I could just lay it out for you. I don't want to keep repeating myself and make things boring. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, give it to you straight, and we'll go from there. Helps me set up the next episode. You know what I'm saying? So just to do a recap, we have start with passion. Know what you're passionate about. Know what really makes you feel. Know what invigorates you. Know what keeps you motivated to stay disciplined. We could connect the two. Motivation and discipline don't have to be so far away. We could connect the two. What will motivate you to stay disciplined and stay consistent? Your passion. All right? So you got your passion, number one. We got planning, a guideline, having the end in mind, working backwards from that end goal to plan what will get you to that end goal. We have pursue. Don't try to have a perfect plan before you pursue. Perfection is the last step. It is the one after passion, planning, and pursuing. Pursue, pursue, pursue. Set up projects for yourself. If you are looking to start a new business venture, providing a new service, providing a new product, maybe do it super discounted just to make sure that you could get, an equal amount back so that you could get that product out to the customer. Maybe provide the first couple services for free so that you could collect testimonials, so that you could get customer reviews. Okay? Because you want to pursue. You don't need everything to be perfect. I promise you, if you are waiting for your plan to be perfect, you are royally screwed, screwing yourself, and you will never pursue what you actually need to pursue. So have passion, have a plan, guidelines, you know what I'm saying? Just keep you on the right track. Start pursuing them immediately. Stop thinking about what you want to do and start doing. Combine the two, okay? You could think, you could plan. Yeah, all that awesome stuff. It's part of the plan, part of the process. But you got to do. If you don't pursue, it's all just mental. You're playing games. You're talking about it, talking about it. Less talky, more walky. All right? Step number 4, perfection, which we will never, ever, 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 ever reach. But the closer that we get to it, awesome. Okay. Self-mastery. We want to work on ourselves all the time, get 1% better every day. The beautiful thing about it is that compound interest exists, and that 1% turns into 2%, you get even better. 2% turns into 4%, you get even better. This isn't exactly mathematical, but it's an example. So anything that you're doing, I mean, you're investing money, it should be like that, right? You're investing in yourself, your knowledge. I'll give you a perfect example. Language learning. Took me years to learn Spanish, okay? Once I got to a certain level, I unlocked that part of my brain, language learning. Here's where compound interest comes in. Now I could learn other languages extremely more efficient, easier than before. It's not easy, but it's easier because I got better at it. An example of compound interest. Okay? That's my recap. That's the whole idea. Now, time for telling y'all that if you liked it, go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you want some more. All right? Comment below. Send me a direct message, Tony Blanko with the K. Y'all already know what it is. I got Instagram, TikTok. You could send me a message or comment here what you would like to hear spoken about in the next episode. If you need some advice, I'm also here for that. Now, obviously, I can't get to every single person, but I'll try my absolute best, all right? Give it a shot. Shoot your shot, because if you don't shoot your shot, you'll miss every time. Much love to you. I'm so, so grateful that you are here with me. I'm so grateful that we did this together today. This is what I'm passionate about. And I would like to stay persistent, stay consistent, exactly what I'm telling you. I would not give you a plan. I would not break all this down for you if I hadn't gone through it myself, if I hadn't done it myself and am not doing it right now. Okay? So I'm grateful for you. And with that being said, I'm out. Till next time. Peace.